Celebrity trolls see several well-known faces confront those who've abused them on social media. It's presented by the Saturday singer and TV presenter Frankie Bridge, who was trolled herself and who's with me now. Frankie, thanks for joining me. First, we'll have a chat in a second, but let's have a quick look at the show.
Someone has always got something to say.
Hiding behind their computers, trolls consider everyone a potential target.
This is when I was particularly in a bad way, when she kept on mentioning my husband.
Is that her?
Oh, well, it's a woman. I don't know if it's her, though.
She's got her hood up. Right, OK, I'm going to follow on foot.
Hi, Tanita, we're from Channel 5. Can we ask you a couple of questions? We're making a documentary, is that OK?
Tanita, you said on Twitter if you ever seen me that you'd have a few things to say about me, so I'd really like to hear them.
And we'll find out more about the confrontation with her in just a moment. We've talked about this before. Just remind us why this is something that you're passionate about sorting out, aren't you?
I think just because social media is such a massive part of everyone's lives now. And I think when we did our first episode, people were so shocked at how much of it goes on online, which really shocked me personally because I thought everyone was aware of it. My children are really young, but it kind of worries me about, you know, whether my children will get bullied online when they're older. And it kind of makes me think when I was at school, I didn't have to deal with that on top of everything else you already have to deal with. And I think it adds a massive pressure on everyone now.
Yeah, look, I'm not in the Saturdays. I'm not an Olympian. It's happened to me, and it takes your breath away because it's hard to believe people can be so nasty and you don't know who they are.
Yeah, I think for me, the biggest thing with the show is trying to understand why they do it. I'm not sure that we really properly got the answer to that. But I think for me, everyone has an opinion. And that's fair enough, and, you know, that's the world we live in, and that's why it's great. But I don't see why people feel they have to share that with that person necessarily.
Well, you did get the answer from that woman that you caught. Who was she trolling again?
Nicola McLean.
Nicola McLean. And it's a surprising answer, so let's see what happened next.
You've been derogatory, you've been abusive, you're a troll. And you've trolled me for 2 years. Do you feel proud of yourself when I read them out to you?
You lot are celebrities.
Yeah.
You are the public's properties. You lot have chosen to have a career where your life is in the public eye.
Hold on.
A lot of celebrities receive tweets every day. They are not going around making TV shows about it. They just deal with it.
Wow. And you're sitting there listening to her try and justify it. What did you think when she tried to, you know, claim it was reasonable behaviour in some way?
I was really surprised. I kind of felt like, you know, once you get face-to-face with a lot of them, they don't have a lot to say, and clearly you can see that she did. And she wasn't sorry, and she kind of said that if you're on TV, then you are public property and you're fair game, which I think a lot of people feel. But for me, you know, yeah, a lot of it is with celebrities, but we meet non-celebrities as well, and it affects their lives just as much. So I find that really interesting.
Yeah, that is interesting, isn't it? Because if they're, you know, if you're in the public eye, then it could be anyone watching us right now who's going to take against us. And you know, maybe she's got a point. You kind of prepare yourself for that. But if you're not, then you're thinking, this is someone who knows me out there.
Yeah.
Do you think that's worse in some way?
Yeah, I do, and I think some people, you know, they do make threats about what they would do to you, and I think you do obviously get scared that they do know where you live or, you know, anything like that, and you don't know whether they're going to follow through with that. I think the biggest one for me is the RIP trolling, which we kind of go into throughout the programme, and that is something that I cannot get my head around.
Well, look, we're talking about the problem of suicide amongst young men in this country in particular in just a moment as it happens. Just a final question, Frankie. The word troll, in some ways it makes them sound not quite as dangerous as they are. Should we just be using sort of internet abusers, something like that instead these days?
Yeah, I think so. I think a troll gives you a look in your head of what you imagine these people are, and actually most of these people have it, you know, normal lives, family lives, whatever, going to school, and they're not necessarily this weird, you know, mythical person.
Just makes you realise just how nasty it really is. Frankie, it's lovely to see you again. Thanks so much indeed
Thanks
for coming in.